In this video, we're going to work with a form that will allow us to create and edit actors. So let's go to Visual Studio Code to work on that. First, what we need to do is to create a new component. So we're going to say ng-gc actors / form actor because we want to apply the same pattern that we did in a previous video, in which we were reusing the same form for creating and updating a genre. We're going to do the same for actors. So let me press enter, and now let me minimize this and let's get to work. Let's go to create actor, and in here we're going to say h2 create actor, and we're going to put our component app form actor, and let me press F12 here so that we can get to work in the form. First, as always, we need a form group, and for that we're going to get a form builder service. So form builder, and we're going to have a form group here, form group, and let me say here this form equal to this form builder group, and in here we're going to say name for the name of the person, and we want to have a initial value of nothing and some validators. So let me say here validators equal to an array. Here I will say validators control dot, and let me bring this namespace, and let me import this dot required, and also we're going to have another field which is going to be the date of birth of the actor. So I will say date of birth, and this one is not going to have any validation rule, so I will only say that the default value is going to be empty. Now let me create a form. Let's go to the template of our component. So let me say form actor HTML. Let me delete this, and let's say here form, and I want to say here form group and form here, and let's work on the controls of the form. First, we need a form for the name, so we're going to say mat form field. We already know how to do this, appearance outline, and in here we're going to say mat label name asterisk, and let's say input form control name mat input, and mat error. We're just going to put the error here because there is only going to be one validation error for this control. So let me say the name field is required. Now let's work on the second field, which is going to be a date. So we're going to learn something new here because we're going to learn how to work with dates in Angular Material. So let me say appearance equal to outline, let's say mat label, and let's say date of birth. And now we're going to use some new components from Material. So let's go to Material module, and in here I will say import, and I need to import two things. The first one is Angular Material date picker. This is a date picker which is going to display a calendar, so I will say here module. And the second thing that I want to import is a native date module, which will allow us to work with dates in Angular Material. So let me say material.core, and from core I want to import math native date module. And let me copy this because we want to export both of them. Let me copy this and also paste it here. And that's it from here. Now I can come here and I can work with a calendar, with a date picker. And let's come here and let me say input form control name, and I want to copy this value from here, date of birth, so we don't make a mistake. Let me paste it here. I will say mat input, and now I need to create a date picker, so I will say mat date picker toggle, so we can toggle the date picker, mat suffix 4, and I need to create a picker so that we can associate that date picker, so I will say mat date picker, and in here I will use a variable here, so I will say picker, and now I will use picker here. This should be picker, and in here we're going to say mat date picker to associate my input with the date picker, and I will say picker here. And that's actually it. With this, we can select a date using a date picker. Now let me come here. Let's see that we have this in place. So let's make a small test. Let's come here. Let me come here to create new. And although we have a design problem, let's say that we can say Felipe here. And I can use this to toggle a calendar. And I can work through the calendar. You can see that I can select whatever date of birth the actor has. And there is no problem with that. Now let me work on the design of this component. Let me go to the form actor CSS file. Let me say here form max width 500 pixels and math form field. This should be width 100%. And finally, let's say button margin right 1 rem. And let me save and let's come here. And as you can see, this looks way better. Now I need a save changes button. So let me come here and let me come here and let me say div button save changes. And let's say here matte flat button color primary disabled equal to form invalid. And let's come down here and let's create an anchor for console. And let me say matte struct button, router link, actors. Now I need to put a submit event here, of course, and invoke save changes, which we don't have. So let's create it right now. Let's come here and say save changes. And of course, we need an output to send a message to our parent component, and for that we're going to need a model. So let me come here. I want to create a model just like we did with genres. I want to create here a file, so new file actors.model.ts, and let me collapse this, export interface actor creation DTO, and I will say name a string and date of birth is going to be a date, so I will say date here. And now I can come here to our form here and I can use an event emitter, so I will say output on save changes equal to new event emitter, and I can say actor creation DTO, and in here I can say this on save changes emit this form value. And that's it from here. Now I can go to create actor and I can use on save changes to invoke the save changes method, and we can pass that event. And now let's create that save changes method in the create actor class. So let's say actor here and let me save changes. Let's go here, actor creation DTO is of type actor creation DTO. And I can say console log actor creation DTO. And now let's make our first test. Let's save everything and let's come here. And as you can see, this is disabled because name is required. So I will say Felipe and I will choose whatever date. Today is fine. Let me click on save changes and let me press F12. And in here we have this object and then we can see that we have Felipe and date of birth today. So this is fine. Now let's work on edit an actor, and for that there is some things that we have to do here. We know that we need to be able to receive a actor creation DTO here, so I will say input and I will say model of type actor creation DTO, and in here we're going to say if this model is different than undefined, then we're going to say this form patch value, just like we did with genres, we're going to say this model here. And now we have to go to the edit actor component and use our form. So let's go to edit actor component and I will delete this and I will say h2 edit actor, and I want to use my actor form actor component. And now let's go to the class of our edit actor component, because in here I want to have a model. I will say model actor creation DTO, which is going to be equal to a name. We're going to say here Tom Holland, and I will put whatever date of birth. Let me just say new date. And let me also create a new save changes method, which is going to receive the actor creation DTO. And I will say actor creation DTO. And we can say here console log actor creation DTO if we want to see in the console the changes that we made to this object. So let me come here to the template, and we're going to say model equal to model, and on save changes we're also going to say save changes, and we're going to pass the actor creation DTO. So let's save, and now let's come here, let's go to actors edit /25, and we have Tom Holland and today's date. Let's change this to Tom Holland 2 and the date to whatever date, and let me click on save changes. Let's press F12, let's click on here, and as you can see we have name Tom Holland 2 and January 14th. So we are good to go with these two fields. Now what we need to do is that we want to be able to upload the image of a person. I want to have a component that will allow me to choose an image from my computer, and then it will display that image here. That is going to be the picture of the actor, and we're going to build that in the next video.